Cristiano Ronaldo is promoting Zinedine Zidane's transfer to Al-Nassr. With such a coach, the capital giant will finally have a chance at the title. A high-profile transfer by the sheikhs from Saudi Arabia. Mbappe's transfer has not justified itself. How much longer will his goal drought last? Cristiano Ronaldo is returning to Europe. We are talking about this and much more today. This is a hot selection of the most interesting football news. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, click the bell, and like this video to get more news about our favorite game. Your support is very important to us. Let's get started. Napoli has finally announced the transfer of Romelu Lukaku. Welcome, Romelu, wrote Napoli president Aurelio De Laurentiis. At the moment, little is known about the details of his contract, how long it was signed for, how much he will earn, and the official transfer fee are also not disclosed. However, according to the press, the deal was signed for 4 years, and the transfer fee amounted to 45 million euros, a significant part of which, 15 million, will be bonuses. It seems that Napoli is insuring itself in this way, as Lukaku is an unpredictable player. Apparently, Romelu is supposed to be an alternative to Victor Osimhen, who recently filed an official transfer request. It seems the club approved it, and now both sides are looking for options for the Nigerian. By the way, Chelsea, from which Romelu actually moved to Napoli, is still considered one of the main candidates for Victor. Now is the time to act against De Laurentiis. For example, the press recently reported that the average offer for Osimhen from other teams is 65 million euros. But not the 120 million stipulated in his contract as a release clause. Why pay a release clause for a player who wants to leave? Apparently, De Laurentiis did not consider this when renewing Victor's contract. And in general, that extension initially seemed like a tactical move, either from Napoli's side or from Osimhen himself. Even then, it was clear that despite this, he would leave in the summer. And as practice shows now, this renewal only complicates everything for both sides. As for Lukaku and Napoli, it will be interesting to see him in this team. Romelu has tried himself in several SerieA clubs, and everywhere, except for a few moments, he performed well. Napoli seems to suit him quite well. And let's not forget that the best period of his career, which came during his, so to speak, first coming to Inter, happened precisely when Antonio Conte was working there, who, as you all know, is now coaching Napoli. It is quite possible that the Lukaku transfer was his personal request. Conte has always spoken highly of this player, and in tandem with Kvaratskhelia, the Belgian should look good. If, of course, they manage to keep Kvicha in the end. That situation is also complicated. So far, Antonio Conte's team has had a mixed start in the league, 1 win and 1 loss. We'll see how things change with the arrival of Romelu Lukaku. Manchester City announced the departure of João Cancelo to Al-Hilal. The player signed a contract for 3 seasons, during which he will earn a total of 70 million euros. "Thank you for everything, Cancelo," was written on the English club's account. It was probably clear to everyone that he would not stay at Manchester City, but hardly anyone expected him to move to Saudi Arabia. Cancelo may no longer be at his peak, but there was definitely demand for him. However, things turned out as they did. Perhaps it's all about his financial demands. In Europe, they were no longer ready to offer him big money, hence the choice in favor of Al-Hilal. There's not much more to add here. And while we're still on the subject of this team and this league, this is not yet official information, but still, Al-Hilal is in close negotiations with Bayern Munich regarding the transfer of Kingsley Coman. According to journalist Florian Plettenberg, they made a substantial offer to Munich, which they accepted. However, this doesn't surprise us in the least. Bayern has always been extremely pragmatic in selling their players. If an offer is really good, they at least consider it. And let's admit, Coman is not quite the same as before, so why not say goodbye to him? In general, now everything depends on the player himself. But we all know how well the sheikhs can persuade. A 100 million contract could very well convince the Frenchman to accept the offer. And while you're making sure you don't miss anything, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell. That way you'll definitely be up to date with all the news from every corner of the football universe. And while you're doing all that, we'll keep moving forward. Mbappe's debut for Real Madrid turned out quite differently than many had imagined, and probably not as he himself had envisioned either. The Frenchman has been unable to score for the Royal Club in 3 matches. However, it's worth acknowledging that Real Madrid itself is not showing the best results so far. Recently, Los Blancos couldn't secure a win away against Las Palmas. It seemed like they should have done so without any problems. The team's head coach, Carlo Ancelotti, urges not to panic regarding Mbappe's performance. Mbappe is progressing, he is working hard and succeeding. His adaptation is going well. As for his lack of goals, the last time he scored was on August 14th. It's only been 2 weeks. It's too early for us or him to worry. He wants to score goals, Ancelotti told reporters. The situation, of course, isn't critical, but it can still be described as concerning. Ancelotti seems to lean towards having Kylian play in the center, rather than in his usual position on the left wing, where Vinicius is currently playing. Perhaps he wants to avoid a conflict of interest or something along those lines. But for now, the Frenchman doesn't look as effective in the center as one would hope. By the way, many experts mentioned this even before Kylian's transfer to Real Madrid, that sharing the wing with Vinicius could become a problem. And so far this problem is indeed visible. Of course, it's too early to say that Mbappe could become the new Hazard at Real Madrid, but something needs to be done to address this situation. Mbappe, due to his skill, can probably play anywhere, but he feels most comfortable on Vinicius's wing. By the way, how do you see the solution to this problem? If you were in Ancelotti's shoes, how would you resolve this situation? Write in the comments. It will be very interesting to read them, and, of course, to discuss this issue with you. Cristiano Ronaldo has once again entered the Guinness World Records, this time as the person who gained the most subscribers on YouTube in 24 hours, nearly 20 million subscribers. Less than a week has passed since the launch of Cristiano's YouTube channel, and the Portuguese star already has over 50 million subscribers. Yesterday, he delighted his viewers with another video. He recorded a big interview with Rio Ferdinand. Cristiano shared that he had no difficulties moving to Saudi Arabia since he's used to changes in environment. He also spoke about the country. You can talk about religion, the weather, but there are no perfect countries. There are wonderful things here, the Red Sea, Al-Ula, even snow. I'm happy. One of the most interesting topics Rio and Cristiano touched on was Ronaldo's tears at the Euros. Cristiano spoke about his feelings after that infamous penalty miss. When you're passionate about what you do, you can't help but care about your feelings. I wasn't crying because I thought that if Portugal were eliminated, the whole world would blame me. You feel bad, you think about the people who came to the stadium, about the kids, about your mom, your girlfriend. I was sad because of that. The forward swore that those who think he was crying out of fear of being blamed, and who say that Portugal was eliminated because of his miss, are wrong. He stated that his tears were also the result of the pressure he puts on himself. Ronaldo always wants to win and achieve the best results, including in Saudi Arabia. But it hasn't been going well so far, with Al-Nassr facing a very strong rival in Al-Hilal. Cristiano Ronaldo insists that Zinedine Zidane should be appointed as the new head coach of Al-Nassr. Al-Nassr, where Cristiano plays, is having issues with their coach. So Ronaldo continues to push for the appointment of the second-best coach in Champions League history, alongside Guardiola, who is Zidane. He wants Zidane to coach the team. They've invested a lot of money, but they're not showing the expected effectiveness. Zidane lives in Madrid, travels a lot in France, but Ronaldo wants to see him in Saudi Arabia, said journalist Eduardo Inda on El Chiringuito. As the saying goes, a man knows what he wants. But there's another saying, wishing is not harmful. How interesting would the job in this league be to Zidane? Honestly, there's no motivation there, except for the money, of course, because people go there only for that and nothing else. Knowing Zidane's persona and his media presence, he could easily earn in Europe. Of course, we can't get into his head. Perhaps Zizou would be better off focusing on a club from one of the top leagues. There are plenty of options. After all, the Frenchman has shown himself incredibly well in the Champions League, so many would love to have him. On the other hand, if Zidane is waiting for a specific offer that isn't possible at the moment, then, as the saying goes in a famous movie, why not practice on something smaller? A year at Al-Nassr earning a lot of money isn't that bad, right? What do you think? How do you see Zidane at Al-Nassr? And what do you think his next team will be? Share your opinions. Cristiano Ronaldo received the award for the top scorer in the history of the Champions League, after which the Portuguese made a statement hinting that he might soon return to this tournament. This award means a lot to me. The Champions League is the most important tournament for any footballer, and I was happy to participate in it. All these records mean a lot to me, and the victories were special moments. I was very happy to be here. I have wonderful memories of the Champions League. Maybe in the future I will return here, Ronaldo said during the draw for the Champions League group stage. Perhaps in this way, the Portuguese is simply drawing attention to himself, implying that it's not over yet, and he might come back. We would like to remind you that there was information this summer that Bayer was interested in strengthening their squad with the Portuguese, specifically for the Champions League. Allegedly, Ronaldo could help the club achieve more significant success. Also, he is well acquainted with Xabi Alonso from their time at Real Madrid. Honestly, with each passing year, it's becoming harder to believe in such comebacks. This also applies to Lionel Messi. But both Ronaldo and Messi are great players, and when it comes to them, nothing can be ruled out as long as they continue their professional careers. Yes, one could say that they are not the same as they once were, but in certain aspects, they are still capable of strengthening any club. That's all for today. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video, and be sure to watch our previous video. It just appeared before your eyes right now. See you. Good luck to everyone. Goodbye.